Welcome back, guys, to Deaths of Despair. Today I'm joined by Big Red. Today we've come to talk to you about Nightmare on Elm Street. How you going, Big Red?
I'm really good. I'm looking forward to this podcast.
Glad to hear it. Now, in case you guys forgot, I am Abyss. I forgot to mention myself before, so I'm doing it now. Ah, it's been a long day, guys. I had a very busy one. So anyhow, Big Red, what do you think of the Nightmare on Elm Street series?
um, I don't know if I love them or hate them. Like it's one of them. I'm really not sure.
That's
Because
a
after the second one, it just turns really weird. Actually, even after the first one, it just turns into some really weird film. And the change going from the first one all the way down is like it just gets crazier and crazier, sort of.
yeah, I find
And it turns into a whole different movie. It's really weird.
that's a
But,
very those are two very different opinions of you like it or you hate it. If you had to pick one, what would it be?
um, I guess I'd have to say I still love them, but for all the reasons I probably shouldn't. They're so out there and so really really weird that you can't really take your eyes off it. Like after Freddy's Revenge, even Freddy's Revenge, which is a bit of a clusterfuck of a whole movie anyway, but even when it turns into comedy, you still just can't really take your eyes off it. And it is pretty funny. Some of the lines in it are really funny.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually used to be a huge Freddy fan. I always thought the Nightmare on Elm Street series growing up were the superior franchise of all the slashers. Looking back
Yeah.
now, I think that's a mistake of my youth. I think Freddy's a better character than all of them, but the films are not overall better than any of the others. It's very hard to put them up against, like, when I say the others, I'm talking about like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, all those have really wacky sequels at some point, which is unfortunate. Like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre has like number two or three, it almost turns into a horror comedy. Jason has
Number
Jason
two,
X.
straight off the bat. Number
Yeah,
two with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
there you go. I couldn't remember which one it was. Um,
Yeah.
I will give the remakes of Texas Chainsaw Massacre some credit, though. A lot of people give them a lot of shit, and not one of them has turned out horror comedy yet. Even, like, they're not the greatest, but even the latest one has kept that dark tone. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, so I'll give it credit there. And the Hellraiser series has always managed to, like, the latest one, Revelations, was pretty poor, but it still stood with that tone. I'm talking about A slasher films, that's why I thought I'd bring up Nightmare on Elm Street, but yeah, like,
Yeah.
all those franchises have really turned a bit wacky. I think Freddy was easily, for me, the best character of that. Like, what do you think about Freddy?
Yeah, out of the three, well, four if you want to count Leatherface in that too. I think he's probably the best character in the whole. In all the franchises, he's probably the best character. He has more things to do. He's not silent like the rest of them. He's very vocal.
Yeah, I think
You know?
that's very different and makes him very appealing to a lot of audiences. And I really enjoy that he does make jokes when he kills people. Like, not all the time, but he does make them. But what I don't like, I know you hate it, but the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, I like it, guys.
Oh.
Take it easy on me. But I actually really enjoyed the new Freddy portrayal because he made sick jokes underneath his breath. It wasn't over the top corny. And I feel like a lot of the new, well, the old Friday, all the old Nightmare on Elm Streets had jokes that were over the top, and I didn't believe, like, it just took me out of it, and I thought it was too corny. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. A lot of the jokes are very corny and very outdated too. On these days, yeah. So,
Like, I like the joke Freddie made when he puts the girl's head through the TV, number four, I think it is. Welcome to prime time, bitch. Smashes the head through.
that's
But
pretty fun.
I also felt like, yeah, that was funny, but it was too at the top, where I more like it when Jackie O'Haley makes those little snidey jokes underneath his breath. Like, I feel like he was the better Freddy in a shitter film. Was that too controversial?
It's not controversial. Um, yeah, if you want to say that, I guess. Yeah, a shitter version in it.
No, I thought he was a
I
better...
mean, I don't anyway, do I? So obviously it's not a good film to me, but I can see where you're going with that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Jackie Earl Henry in the Jackie Earl Henry.
Harley.
Jackie Earl. Yeah, I'm blanking on his name actually. There's nothing wrong with him in that remake at all. I reckon he's a pretty okay Freddy. It's just when you are accustomed to Robin Englund for so long, you sort of want him to come back.
Yeah. If you were to pick a favourites in the franchise, what would be your favourite films? And ones you hate the most as well?
I always like New Nightmare. I feel like it was a precursor to Wes Craven's Scream. I feel like he wanted to. I feel like after he made that movie goes right, I'm more confident now to make Scream than I was.
That's a very accurate statement. I would 100% agree with you there. I feel like that there's a lot of Scream in that film.
Yeah, well, yeah, it definitely is, and that's why I think it's best. It's best, Freddy, because I love Scream so much that it's nice to go. Well, I watched New Nightmare, and I watched Scream. You know what I mean? And you can sort of see what he's trying to do with New Nightmare and what he did with Scream. That's probably what.
See, when I look at the films overall, the only ones I'm going to include Jackie Earle Haley's one as well, but the only ones that are great to me, like good to me, are 1, 2, and New Nightmare. Jackie Earle Haley's remake one, I thought that was decent. I didn't think it was the best. I still think it beats the shit out of some of the sequels there. So I think it does deserve some credit in that notion. I don't think it's the worst one.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Like, we should expect the best films whenever we get them, but I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, see, I tried to say, I tried to watch it like months ago. I just couldn't get through it. I was like, this. I know it sounds silly because I like New Nightmare, and I don't think a lot of people like New Nightmare actually. But
well, if you're one of the people that don't like New Nightmare, if you're one of the if you're one of the people that don't look if you're one of the people that don't like New Nightmare, folks, you're wrong.
I get you. Yeah, you are wrong.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say the worst one is?
Oh, I can't even remember which number it is, but it's the one where the motorbike goes into the person and he's driving on the road and he kind of starts turning to this motorbike kind of contraption and he drives himself off the road, and then there's another kill in it where this Freddy gets all needles on his claws. It hurts me trying to think. I really try to repress bad films sometimes, and this one, it really hurt me watching it. It really did. Do you remember which one I'm talking about?
I'm actually looking it up.
Please don't.
I feel like
I don't want to remember it. I feel like it's number 4, but it's probably not.
Yeah, I feel like we have to. I should have really done a lot more research on this, but I could have probably just done an answer anyway.
I'd like you guys to know, folks, that Big Red here is actually normally, not when he's not under pressure, very accurate with dates, movie titles. When he's under pressure in his podcast, he just crumbles like a paper cup.
Oh, I'm terrible. Oh, I'm so bad.
As soon as a bit of pressure's applied.
I can name it straight away, but when the cameras are on, I just can't.
I like to remind Big Red that no cameras will feature him in these podcasts. They're just audio files. But yet again, he is still under pressure.
That is very true. It's the Dream Child, I think.
Yeah,
Number 5.
Oh, what we haven't discussed. What do you rate Freddy vs. Jason?
Are we doing out of 10?
Just what do you think of it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I really do like it. I think it's really good. I love the soundtrack. more than anything else. Kill Nino, kill Switch Engage, yeah. But back onto the actual movie, I think it's a pretty decent movie. It's really not that bad. I don't think a lot of people like that one either, but I do.
Yeah, I think people are playing...
Could you really have Jason versus Freddy movie, though? Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Could you really have a Freddy versus Jason movie and have one of them die? I don't think you could.
See, the only
So you must have known they weren't both going to die and something was going to happen.
See, in my head, I had this universe where they both fight. Evil Ash, or Ash from Evil Dead comes and manages to keep Freddy alive because he knows if Freddy dies, he goes to the dream world. So I'd have Freddy tied up in the film with him tied in a chair. I'd have Jason be sunk back to the bottom of the ocean, and then I have his own films come out in the next 5 years back at that camp sort of thing. But I feel like Freddy vs. Jason was a good attempt. I feel like it had a lot of mismatched tones. Like, a lot of it is almost corny PG-13, and then it goes to, like, the final battle scene is pretty, not R-rated, but it is pretty gory. I remember when I first saw that, I was 16, 17 when I saw the final battle. I never saw the film before. I was pretty scarred. I thought that was fucked up. And now watching it, it's nowhere near like that. But it is a very... Yeah, I think it does try that film, and I think a lot of people give it unjust hate. It's still better than a lot of the Freddy and Jason films, so, like, people have to give a bit of credit. Like, it's better than Jason Takes Manhattan and New Blood and all that. Like, I think people get very too nostalgic with these kind of films. I understand why, because the characters in essence are cool, but you gotta remember, a lot of those films, they're not good films.
Would you say Freddy vs. Jason is better than apart from the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, would you say they're better than them as well? All the rest of them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake to me, Jessica Biel one, I think it was. That was the one. I like that one. I wouldn't count it better than that, but I would definitely count it really good. See, this is what annoys me. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, was meant to be this really in-your-face film. It was never been done before, really gringy, whatever you want to call it, very dark. And the remake decided, because we actually have the practical effects now, to make it really gory. And all these people hate it because it got remade, even though in my opinion, the remake is the superior version to the originals. But I think people, like, when you like something that's old, when a new one comes out and it can actually do it better, then that means the new one's better. Tough luck. And you should celebrate that. It gives it a chance. I feel like Texas Chainsaw Massacre fans jumped on that film as soon as it came out, unjustly.
Yeah, that's why a lot of these horror movies get remade, because they're with all the effects and the shit you can do these days. It is worth trying to remake it to see if it can match up to the original. Maybe not, because people can be so skewed with their views on that. Like me, for example, I'm going to be a bit hypocritical when I say this. Obviously, the theme throughout this podcast is I didn't like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake because I love the original so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why. It's not all the reasons. I like, but on the other hand, I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and I also like the original.
Is it because...
It's like The Hills Have Eyes. I like the original and I like the remake.
Yeah, I feel like the new Freddy remake, I do slam it for CGI news. I feel like the CGI, maybe they thought they could do things that they couldn't do in the original. I liked a lot of the scenes in the new one. I didn't like that it was too overbearing dark. I didn't like the CGI hand coming through the wall because it didn't look better even after how many years since Nightmare on Elm Street. The cast I actually thought was a lot better than the original Freddy film, sorry. I actually think number 2, Nightmare on Elm Street, is one of the better ones.
Yeah, that's true. So you prefer the cast of remake of the Nightmare on Elm Street to the cast of the original?
Oh, easy. Johnny Depp was good in his role, but he just didn't have any... Like, he wasn't really a good actor back then, and there's no real other, besides Heather, that are good in the films.
Yeah, well, Johnny Depp was just coming out of that. I believe that's his first ever movie. So,
Yeah, I feel like people do overrate when it comes to nostalgia, and that's fine. For me, the worst thing about the Nightmare on Elm Street series is because they did get a bit too wacky with the humor and too overbearing. Like the asthma scene, the wet dreams. The wet dreams one was actually funny. I'll give it credit there, but I can't
yeah.
imagine anyone ever being scarred to death from that, like being petrified like that. If I'm looking at it as at face value, that it's entertaining, it is. So I'll give it credit there, but I don't think it's scary.
No, I don't either. No, after the original Nightmare on Elm Street, it's not scary really. It's really just sort of funny. You sort of like Freddy after that. The first one you didn't like him, all the rest of the time you really like it. You know what I mean?
Do you remember?
He's cracking jokes, and I know he's killing people. He's
See,
cracking jokes.
if I was to
He's
remake,
having a good time.
if I was to remake Freddy now, I'd make him dark like the new Nightmare one. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably do the same as well.
Yeah. Also, do you remember Nightmare on Elm Street 2? Do you remember how that went, where Freddy came out the boy and then attacks people at the pool party?
Yeah, he comes out the pool.
He comes out the boy. He rips himself through.
Oh, I thought that was the first one. I thought he did that in the first one.
Now, number 2 is when he tears himself out. He lives inside the boy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, I thought
I know what you're saying.
I thought that was one of the better. I actually think that's almost better than the first one. I really enjoyed it, and I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. I thought the gore effects in that were superb. It's probably got the best gore effects of all the Nightmare on Elm Streets in that one, and I think it was pretty obvious as Nightmare on Elm Street went on that they did get to go a bit more corny. So the effects department did. It was still entertaining, really in your face, but I feel like it wasn't as menacing. Where the first couple of Freddys were pretty menacing.
There's actually a really good documentary on all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. It used to be on Netflix. It goes for like 3 hours. It's really good. That's very, very insightful. That tells you all about how the first incarnations of Freddy happened, and then all the rest of them leading up to the end was New Nightmare. Wasn't it? So all the rest of them leading up to New Nightmare and stuff. It was really, really good.
Yeah. What do you think was the worst character or the best character in the Nightmare on Elm Street series?
Well, the best is obviously Freddy, isn't it?
Not including Freddy.
Probably Heather Lancaster, her character. That was probably it. I can't. The thing with all the rest of them were, I didn't really think any of the characters were interesting. I really didn't. It wasn't about the characters. It was about Freddy in all of them, apart from obviously the first one and New Nightmare. So, it wasn't about the characters, so therefore I couldn't care for them, and therefore they were very uninteresting.
No, I agree with that assessment. Most of the cast and those ones and characters were pretty bland. It's hard to remember them. Yeah, I can agree with that. How did you find the effects, like the gore and the blood? Like, as I said before, I found they kind of downgraded or became less menacing and bloody as the series progressed.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. They just tried to go a bit more silly with it, didn't they? It was like, oh, well, we won't really try for this. We'll just do what we can do and then put it in, So, yeah, it did. It got really, really silly.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to ask. I'm gonna cut that out because that's embarrassing. Yeah, I think I'll just wrap it up then and end it on a 18-minute video then.
Alright, cool.
Okay, guys. So thanks for joining us today. Comment down below. Tell us what you think about the Nightmare on Elm Street series, about Freddy, about how much shit me and Big Red are full of. And don't forget to subscribe.